What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. This video, I want to talk about Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. versus Robert the Ghost Guerrero, May 4th. And I'm not going to necessarily do a prediction video. I'll probably do one closer to the fight happening. But you'll pretty much be able to tell where I'm leaning for this particular fight. But it looks like in the sport of boxing, the pendulum is shifting. Mayweather is going over to show box. That's huge. That's big for the sport of boxing, the type of contract that they worked out. 30-month, up to 6 fight deal. Mayweather's always been with HBO, and I mean, this is big for the sport of boxing. Hopefully, we get to see more things like this happen. I'm not saying people leave the company that they grew up on, so to speak, but just more business deals that make sense for whatever. I'm just sick of the Golden Boy and Top Rank beef to the point where we can't see Brandon Rios versus Danny Garcia or this fight or that fight. I hope we can get more to a sense of we do what's right for the sport of boxing, for the fans. Because if the fans want to see Abner Mars versus Nonito Donaire and Top Rank and Golden Boy, they act like adults and make the fight happen, then that they really stand the most money to gain. Nobody wants to see Nonito, at least me, I don't. No one wants to see Nonito fight Vic Darchinian again or somebody like that. Nobody wants to see that rematch. I want to see Guillermo Rigondeaux and Nonito, or I want to see Abner Mars and Nonito. And Abner Mars already moved up to 126, so Nonito would have to move up to 126 like I believe he plans in order to make that fight. So, and that's if he gets past Rigo. I just hope we can see more things like this on the horizon where people are making business transactions because I know a lot of people that like show bucks. So, Guerrero versus Mayweather. I said this in my previous video. This is a fight that makes sense. I think a lot of people aren't realistic. A lot of people just hate Mayweather. I'm going to say it like it is. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it must be a duck. A lot of people just hate Mayweather. But you get those type of fans and they're really biased because I could tell why the comments that you guys leave that you're biased. This is a sport about boxing. I don't care about like people. I'm not saying I condone people hitting women, but I don't know the details to that. I wasn't in court, and I don't know what happened, so I'm not going to pass judgment. Just because someone does jail time doesn't mean they're guilty. Just because someone takes a plea agreement, especially as celebrities, that doesn't mean they're guilty. A lot of times, people, especially like athletes or just celebrities in general, they take these plea agreements and arrangements with the court or just pay the lawsuit and settle just because it's cheaper instead of having a court going through the court process and paying lawyer fees and meeting up and suits and all kinds of stuff. It's cheaper just to pay out the person whatever they're requesting in order to move forward with your life as opposed to dragging it out in the court way and then you don't know what the outcome's going to be. So again, I don't know all the details to shit like that. Neither do I. Like, I don't care. Like, that doesn't affect my opinion of him as a boxer. Because realistically, Mike Tyson, he's cool now, but in Mike Tyson's heyday when he was fighting, I liked him just because I liked how destructive he was. But outside of the ring, he was fucking crazy. So I'm sure a lot of people didn't really care for him. His personality, I mean, he didn't really have a likable personality to the general public. Yeah, I want to eat his kids for breakfast and lunch and Alexander, I'm the great, and there's no one. I'm Muhammad Ali, Sonny Liston, I'm all of them. He used to say the craziest shit. There was a fight on Showtime that he fought. He beat the guy, and they're like, "How'd you feel in there, Mike?" He was like, "I felt okay, but it was kind of hard because I was fighting and my back is broken." And he's like, "What do you mean about that?" He's like, "My back is broken. I went to the doctor, it's spinal." Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So again, Tyson didn't really have. He's like, I'll fuck you till you love me, faggot." And he would say crazy ass shit, and that just made Tyson who he is. But Floyd Mayweather is Floyd Mayweather. I know a lot of people don't like him for his antics. I'm okay with that. But say that. Don't say he sucks. Say I don't like him because he burns money, he hits women, he's cocky, blah blah blah. I don't care about that. Say you don't like him for the stuff on 24/7 because I don't even condone all of the stuff that he does outside of the ring. But again, this is the hurt game. This is the fight game. I don't really care about him burning money when he's in the fight. That I mean, that's nothing that even crosses my mind. If he's fighting Devin Alexander or whoever he fights, Victor Ortiz, I don't care. Like I'm not like, oh, he shouldn't have burned money in the middle of the fight. That doesn't even cross my mind. So again, you got to separate the athlete from the man and talk about what these athletes are doing in the ring. Whether you hate Broner rapping, whether you hate Mayweather's antics, or whoever you hate, um, just base your opinion on that. Say I don't like him as a person, but he's a hell of a fighter. I would respect that a lot more than trying to deconstruct some of these fighters based on your dislike for them or you wanting them to lose. Because it's funny to me, we see things like Andre Ward, who is generally a likable person. He did commentate on HBO's card recently, and he did a good job. He's a humble person. He's a likable person. SOG, son of God, and I mean he's respectable. And a lot of people have no problem putting him on their pound for pound list or whatever the situation is, or talking highly of him because he is such a likable person, and he's from the Bay Area like me. Anyway, um, then you get guys like Broner, who are not necessarily at an Andre Ward level in terms of the pound for pound ranking, because Andre Ward has pretty much cleaned out his division and he's beat everybody. So you definitely got to give him props. But Adrian Broner is convincingly winning and beating the people that's in front of him, and he's trying to get different fights like Ricky Burns and trying to make other fights like that. So you got to give the guy some credit for trying to attempt to clean out his division, moving up in weight, taking the number one ranked guy Antonio DeMarco, and it's so hard for a lot of people to give Broner any type of props. Like, okay, he has a future. I could see that. Yet they'll praise someone like Andre Ward for cleaning out his division, but Adrian Broner is attempting to do that, and he has a younger career. He's a little bit younger than Andre Ward, and people are not willing to do that because they don't like his personality or what he does or his rapping, brushing hair, and all that. Anyway, back to Mayweather Guerrero. Whether you hate the guy or love him, he's good for boxing. He makes a lot of smart business moves, and there's nothing that could really be said. You can call him a cherry picker, a ducker, or whatever, but he's still undefeated. He has a big mouth, and no one's really shut him up or proved him wrong. Can Robert Guerrero do it? Yes, he can do it. Will he do it? I don't think so. I think Mayweather beats Guerrero, but this is a good fight because the timing is really what's impressive to me, because we have never seen Mayweather go to jail. Like he's probably had a year in between fights, and he did the long 18-month layoff or whatever before he fought Marquez. But he was a little bit younger when he had that 18-month layoff against Marquez, and now he's a little bit older. He didn't go to jail. You know what I mean? I don't know what kind of conditioning he kept his body in. It looked like he was pretty big when he came out of jail. Um, but I don't know what's available to him. I'm sure he can't run as freely as he does when he's at his home in Las Vegas and that kind of thing. So we haven't seen Mayweather. So again, unless Mayweather gets old overnight and looks drastically different, I see him winning this fight. I think Guerrero is going to give a spirited effort, and he's not going to back down, and he's going to try to make the fight, and he's going to try to apply pressure, and I mean he's going to do everything. Good thing about Guerrero, he does have a chin, and he has heart. You can't take that away from him. So I would like his chances to win over someone like a Victor Ortiz, because Victor Ortiz, in my opinion, doesn't have tremendous heart to go that extra mile when he's like, if Victor Ortiz is in a fight, if he gets in a fight in his career where he's down by 8 rounds, then he's just down 8 rounds and he's probably on his way to lose. I don't see him having the tenacity or the perseverance to necessarily come back from a huge deficit. Like in sports, you have some people that can do game changers. Like if you look at a Tom Brady or Peyton Manning in football, I think that happened this year with the Broncos. Peyton Manning, they were drastically down, and it was probably late in the third quarter, fourth quarter. All of a sudden, Peyton just started throwing bombs and like completing passes and really rallied to get his team back in it, and they end up winning that game. For Victor Ortiz and people like certain fighters, Zab Judah, I don't see them having the mental capacity or the mental togetherness, I guess you could say, to hold it together. But in Robert Guerrero's case, he has that. He has the determination, the perseverance. I just don't see him beating Mayweather because I think Mayweather's quicker. I think he's more accurate. Um, and that's it. He looked good against Berto. It was kind of a slightly dirty fight on both ends. They both did things that were kind of dirty. He pretty much bullied Berto, but I think Berto fought a dumb fight. Coming out after a 15-month layoff, you're coming out with a new style that you've never employed in any other fight, which was the Philly shell shoulder roll. I thought that was so stupid. When I first seen him, I was like, what the fuck is he doing? And he got his eye like thumbed in or whatever, so his eye was all fucked up. And then he let Robert bully him. And another thing Berto did was Berto didn't really. There was a couple times where he landed good shots, and I don't know if he lacked stamina or ring rust or if he just is that type of fighter. Because we know that Berto, even in before the Peds layoff, it looked like he had stamina issues. So it might have just been that. But Berto, he would land a good shot and then he wouldn't follow up with anything. You're not going to get a guy like Robert Guerrero to back off you when you're not giving him more than one punch. Like you can't just punch him once and then just expect him to be done unless you're hitting him extremely hard or you're putting together punches. And that's what Berto failed to do. I have a hard time seeing Guerrero bully Floyd Mayweather the same way he bullied Berto. Um, so that's just my opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think as far as this particular fight. Again, I'll give you guys a more in-depth uh, prediction on the fight closer to the fight. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's excellent for the sport of boxing. It looks like they're putting together a solid card. I heard they're trying to get Broner on it. I don't know how likely that is to happen because I think Broner might be contracted with HBO. All of his other fights have been HBO, and this is obviously now on ShowBox. So I don't know exactly how that would work, but just having Mayweather, Guerrero, and Canelo and Trout, that's enough for me. I'm sold. I want to see both of those fights. For the people giving Guerrero slack or Mayweather slack for taking the fight, that's stupid. Again, I think a lot of times, oftentimes, people want to see a fighter they dislike lose, which makes sense. I mean, that's not your team, or it's a rival. If you like Pacquiao and you don't like his arch enemy, I mean, that makes sense. But be realistic. Who deserves it at 147 more than Robert Guerrero? Berto? No. He just lost his last fight and he had a ped scandal. So, no. Um, Timothy Bradley, but he already has a fight lined up. Plus, Timothy Bradley is with Top Rank. Floyd is with he's with Floyd Mayweather Promotions, but he partners up with Golden Boy. So that fight probably wouldn't take place even if Bradley didn't have his fight next month. Who else is at 47? Josecito Lopez? No, he just lost to Canelo. Um, I don't think he has a big enough fan base. I like Josecito. He's an entertaining fighter to watch, but I mean, that doesn't make sense, especially coming off the Canelo loss. What would that do for Mayweather's career or legacy? Usually Mayweather fights people coming off of wins more than losing streaks. And I mean, he doesn't have a streak. He only has one loss, but you know what I mean. Maidana, Maidana has no belt. He has power, but he has no belt. So, I mean, really, does Maidana deserve it because he beat like Jesus Soto Caras and no belt? Or take a unification against someone who won both of their fights at welterweight, Robert Guerrero? Yes, that makes more sense. Even Canelo doesn't deserve it. It would be a good fight just because Canelo's bigger. So to see how Mayweather handles that, and Canelo does throw combination punches, so it'd be a good fight. But in terms of deserving it based on their prior performance, I don't think he deserves it. So let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Until next video, it's Ego signing off.